Should people who get botched surgery abroad have to pay for NHS treatment afterwards? The Health Secretary has warned such surgeries put unnecessary pressure on the NHS. There's Wes Streeting on the left. He spoke out after a string of deaths among British patients who travelled to Turkey to undergo cut-price surgery, in particular having so-called butt lifts, Brazilian butt lifts, BBLs, which have proved to be particularly dangerous. He urged people to think very carefully before flying overseas for cosmetic work, as the NHS is frequently left to pick up the pieces. Data suggests an average cost to the NHS of around £15,000 when somebody comes back and they need sorting out. And this has led some to question whether taxpayers should be paying that. What do you think about that, Jamila?
I don't think so. I don't think taxpayers should be footing the bill for cosmetic surgery. Obviously, when you go abroad to get a cheap deal or a discount, you kind of do it knowing that it's a bit of a risky thing to do. We've heard the stories before. So I think you go knowing that there's a danger and the taxpayer shouldn't be having to pay.
But bear in mind, when it goes wrong, it's no longer cosmetic. So let us say I get turkey teeth, and I've seen pictures, they file down your teeth so they look like the top of a sort of Phillips screwdriver, and then they mount a tooth on top. Now, if you get into trouble, you come back, you're in the airport and your mouth is bleeding, you're then an A&E case.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to ask for cash then.
I don't know. I think it's as a result of cosmetic surgery. Yes. And so you should be paying for that. We already have a very stretched NHS, and paying for people who want to get Brazilian butt lifts or their teeth done, fair enough, go for it, but we shouldn't be having to pay for that.
Andy West.
Turkey teeth, bad idea, agreed. However, it's going to cost the NHS money to try and draw a line here and work out, well, you're ill with this sepsis because you had this type of surgery, or you're not because you had this. And also, if I was to go abroad and go bungee jumping and then I came back and one of my eye sockets had dislocated or something, I would go to the NHS. I wouldn't say, well, no, you shouldn't have gone to Brazil and done that bungee jump. Well, where do you draw the line?
Yeah, because then very quickly you get to the sad case of the guy who's thrown himself off a bridge. And you then say, well, we can't treat you because you brought it on yourself. And nobody would argue for that. Yeah. So, but I think the answer is cosmetic. Bungee jumping is not cosmetic treatment. Jamila's been clear about this.
So you go to Benidorm and you get a tattoo. And then you come home and it's infected.
Right.
And your doctor says, sorry, no, you've got to walk around with an infected arm for the rest of your life. You're going to die of that, like some sort of Victorian.
The idea that behind all these stories is the idea British health service is great, foreign health service is terrible. We don't really believe that anymore, do we?
No, but I think we have heard some quite big horror stories about these specific, the BBL places, and things like that. So I think that's a fair argument to make.
So physically, I keep reading these BBL stories, and some of the people who seem very sweet have gone, they're not crazy influencers. There's, a teacher or a nurse or whatever who's got maybe there's a little bit of dysmorphia, they're just not happy with their body. When you go and get the butt lift, as I understand it, they take fat from other parts of your body, they inject it into your buttocks to make them bigger and rounder. And if you're unlucky, the fat goes into your bloodstream, moves to your heart, and you die. And that's how people die from Brazilian butt lifts. So yeah, I don't know the answer to this.
One of my housemates, when I was on Big Brother, had this done, actually. So it was the first time I encountered
a female,
a female. Yeah, Letitia Grace. She'd had a BBL. And I think it was the reality TV stars that kind of made it so popular. But I think you said a really important word there, Jeremy. It was dysmorphia, that we're dealing here with a society of people who increasingly feel like they need these cosmetic surgeries. And they're not going abroad because they're bad people. They're going abroad because they want to feel better about their bodies. And I just think the NHS to say, you've done this thing, we're not going to help you, just feels wrong. It's not the spirit of our country.
I know, but come on, let's not get the violins out. This is all for the sake of taking a good Instagram pic and looking cool and becoming an influencer. It's not because they're like crying into a pillow. Let's be real. This isn't about...
Is it though, or is it...
For the most part, this is not about body dysmorphia. Let's
ask Sharon. Sharon's in Staffordshire. Hi, Sharon.
Hello, Jeremy and panel. Good morning.
Good morning.
No, I don't think the NHS should be taking these people that have gone abroad to do surgery. The NHS was not made for this sort of problem. It's for people that have become ill and need help. Not because you fancy a big boob or a BBL. You go abroad and get the surgery done. You've got a problem and you want the NHS to come and fix it. No, the NHS was not made for that.
Well, yeah, except that the leave aside, so cosmetic surgery on the NHS is quite hard to get. And if you want to have, your boobs removed, you've got to show that they're causing a serious incident. But, it's not just cosmetic. But this is not cosmetic, really, is it, Sharon? Because you're sorting out something that's gone wrong elsewhere. So by that stage, it's become medical.
No, but Jeremy, how much is this costing the NHS when there's people that really need
15 grand per
money?
person who needs
Well, there you go.
help.
There you go then.
Yeah, I think teeth is what, teeth is, if you've gone and got your teeth and they haven't worked. Thanks, Sharon. We didn't hear from you on Friday, Sharon. I missed you.
Oh, my gosh, Jeremy, I'm so sorry. I had a bit of a crisis at work, so I had to go, unfortunately.
Because we thought you were going to manage to get on 5 days in a row. We're all geared up for it.
I wanted to. I'm going to try and do it this week, though, Jeremy.
Okay, one. All right. Just like Craig David. Thank you. Linda in Kent, hello.
Good morning. I'll go into competition with Sharon, shall I?
Yeah,
And
let's
I'll
see
try and
how
get
you
on
do.
5
Yeah,
days.
yeah. So what about this?
Yeah.
It's easy to say you can't help them, but if someone's arrived at Heathrow with their bum in a sort of state of disarray.
Jeremy, I don't care. And I'll tell you why I don't care, shall I? I've had bad varicose veins since I had my son 47 years ago. Got gradually worse in the last 20 years. To and fro the doctors with them, told it's cosmetic. If you want them doing, you'll have to pay. So gradually, over the years, I saw a different GP just over a year ago. Wonderful man, sent me to the hospital. Yes, they're so bad now, they might do them. So I see somebody at the hospital last night or yesterday evening. I went for an ultrasound scan to now be maybe I should be told, like he told me a year ago, they're probably too bad to be done anyway.
Oh.
So I don't know yet. I'll let you know, Jeremy.
Oh,
how
that's
I get
awful. I hope that doesn't happen. So yeah, they're not bad enough to be medical, and we don't do cosmetic.
I don't
That's the
know.
idea. Yeah,
Well,
no.
the
But
thing
I hear you. I hear you. And varicose
Yeah.
is an interesting one. Varicose veins are a bit like dental, where that whole thing has basically moved private now.
It's very difficult to get seen for varicose veins. My mum had the same problem in Milton Keynes, and it's not cosmetic, it's painful. If it gets worse, it's
Well, it's also
debilitating.
unsightly. What was it, Les Dawson? Those old comedians used to do mother-in-law jokes. And my wife's legs look like the Cotswolds, and that's it's just horrible, horrible thing. And Linda, bless you. Good luck getting. I hope they sort her out.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
How much would it cost to do that privately?
You could do the varicose veins operations, but also we can't be in a situation where the NHS says you've had a Brazilian butt lift, you're now in a life or death situation, you made your bed, lie in it on your front, obviously. You're going to turn you away. We're not going to do that.
No, they won't turn them away, but they will present them with a bill. I don't think varicose veins and Brazilian butt lifts are the same thing. I think Brazilian butt lifts is a lot more
repairing a butt
frivolous.
lift. Yeah, no. I don't think there's. Unless it's a real psychological... I don't think a psychologist would actually say, this person has body dysmorphia because they're suicidal because their bottom is too small, therefore you've got to enlarge their bottom to stop them being... Because they'll still be suicidal after that, sadly. It's not... I don't think you cure body dysmorphia.
But isn't the NHS founded on a kind of sympathetic, non-judgmental, egalitarian principle, which doesn't say you have made a life choice and therefore, say, you've been smoking all your life, we're not going to treat lung cancer.
Believe me, that's already in operation. People have been told, look at George Best, he was told, look, we're not giving you a kidney transplant or liver transplant, unless you actually stop drinking. And that you can see the sense in that.
That's fair.
We've got Leslie in Swansea. Hi, Leslie.
Hi there, Jeremy.
This is just about really the NHS sorting out botched operations abroad. What do you think?
Well, mine wasn't botched. I had a knee replacement in Lithuania in May 23. And some months later, I got an infection in my knee. And I recently came out of hospital where they did a complete reversal of my knee replacement. And I'm on high antibiotics now for the next 3 months, where I actually get daily visits every other day for these antibiotics IV.
Oh, wow.
But
so it sounds like it's an MRSA thing, is it?
No, well, actually, they don't know what the bacteria is. They've never been able to discover. But I've been hearing from a lot of the nurses that come in that there's a high level of infections coming from knee replacements and hip replacements in this country. So, things go wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not always And of course, this isn't cosmetic. This is very necessary because the waiting lists in the UK are just so long.
Yeah, well, I know, and people are remortgaging to get their knees done and stuff, and it's because you got to pay 14 grand or something. So, how much was it in Lithuania, out of interest?
About 8,000, but that covered both my husband and myself staying out there for a fortnight with physiotherapy, hotel bills, flights, everything.
Yeah, and I wouldn't, you know what, I don't listen to that story and think, oh, well, if you get your knees done in Lithuania, you'll probably come back with bacteria. As you say, Leslie, it can happen. You know, it's part of the whole medical thing. Thank you, and I hope you get well soon. There's no fun having IV antibiotics to kill off a knee infection. Jennifer in London, have you had anything done?
Well, I haven't had anything done abroad, but I had on NHS. I had a gastric sleeve done, and I've had my complication now is that I've lost so much weight that I've got like a lot of loose skin, and so I can't get that skin taken care of on NHS.
Right.
So I would need to go abroad. So if something did go wrong. It's like it could go wrong. I have something gone wrong already as well with what I had done here on NHS. My sleeve has made me that I can't eat food. So it's made my situation hard to recover because I'm still not able to eat food. Plus I've got all this loose skin. So I'm feeling like very weak and down at the fact that
Can you not keep any food? Can you not wash your stomach is so small now, you almost can't eat anything.
Yeah. No, I can't really eat food. I'm just on liquids all the time.
Blimey, that's big.
There's a lot of people who've had those operations who are now thinking, if only I could have had the injections, then I wouldn't have had to have this particular operation.
No, but Jennifer's done a great example. That's a classic example. So you've had it. I think fighting obesity is medical, right? So the sleeve is a medical operation. Fair enough. Now the removal of the extra skin is cosmetic. And you wouldn't allow that?
Well, no, I think that's all part and parcel of the actual treatment. So I feel like they're not finishing the job by just leaving her with lots of loose skin. So I think that's fair. And also, it doesn't sound like it's been done very well. Because
but this is the problem. This is why you'd need to open an entire office, probably in Cardiff, costing £1 billion a year, where people just make decisions over which are cosmetic and which are medical.
No, but
Jennifer, I had a friend who had, I think he had, whatever it was, he lost a lot of weight, maybe a sleeve. And he said that what they did to him was they wrapped his stomach in cellophane every week and ironed it. And that made the skin tighter, so he didn't end up with extra skin. What did they offer that?
I've never heard of that.
Ironing do not try that at home, by the way, just saying, because it doesn't sound right. So he said that actually this is trying to get the skin to tighten is a big thing. I wish you well, Jennifer. It's very interesting. It's like a medical specialist. Julie in Kent, have you had anything done, Julie?
Absolutely no.
Do you think that NHS should deal with botched operations abroad?
Well, it depends on why they've done it. But, I accept my body for what it is, right? My head tells my tummy not to eat too much, right?
Yeah, it's hard though.
And everyone says, "Oh, Judy, you've got a nice bottom, right? Okay, why do you want to make your bottom any different to what it is?"
Yeah. No, I understand.
And why do you want?
I think that's lovely. But if your friends are praising your bottom, then you don't need it lifted. But there are some people whose friends...
Yes, that's bottom privilege.
I think
that's bottom privilege you have there, Julie, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm very flat-bottomed. But I would quite like to have a butt lift.
When you see people who've had butt lifts, do you think,
I have a round bottom. And one of the ladies I used to work with, she used to say to me, "Julie, people would like to have a bottom like you."
Yeah, I bet they would.
From a lady to me. Lady to me.
I think that was the style.
You just have to...
I mean, it was that we've gone to more of a Kim Kardashian thing. Well, do you mean you've got a more of a Kim Kardashian size shape?
Well, I don't really know because I can't see my bottom, can I?
No. I really want to talk more about this. We've got to go to our break. It's such a disappointment. Thank you, Julie.